Alright, so today I would like to sit and talk about the update that just came out rather, for Hades, and the good and bad that came with that. Hopefully this will sync up alright with the video that will be attached to. If not, I apologize. I'm new to this whole system, so I'm just going to go in order of how I have them listed and hope that that works out in my favor. So, first, I want to talk about the absolute irritation that is their change to the auto lock on and how it works while targeting invisible enemies, and that it doesn't. So, as you will see in the clip, or in the first clip of this video, because of this change, especially with the change to Void Prisms, which now killing them removes invulnerability from anything that it was on, while a great change, the change to the targeting for invisible enemies completely ruins that, because you can't target Void Prisms behind an army of invisible enemies. It just fucks with the targeting, and there's nothing you can do. Second change that I want to talk about that I absolutely adore is the Chaos Boons. Holy shit, they nailed it on the head with these things. I think some of them are kind of just outright useless. I think some of the boons could use some tweaking. However, the concept of the Chaos Boons is phenomenal, and I love it. It's a great change. Spot on. They nailed it on the head. I was a little iffy at first about the rooms, the new challenge rooms. I still am not entirely sure that I like them. However, I like that we don't just have a don't die, or for what, 50 seconds. I'm glad that they're mixing it up. It makes those rooms a lot less boring to go into or to run into. It gives you a little bit of a, hey, what's going to happen here vibe. So that I do really appreciate it from that standpoint. However, I really don't like the slay foes without getting hit, especially given a lot of the enemy design. I think there's better ways to have gone about that particular change than just what they ended up doing. Next, I want to talk about the new monster type, specifically the Gorgon, because I love everything about this enemy. I'm really glad that they more or less worked Dusa into the core game, because I love Dusa, and Dusa is best girl. That being said, I wish they were a bit more common of an enemy type. The first time I saw one was 3 runs in today, and I saw the boss version, and it wasn't until my 6th run that I actually saw them as a base type enemy. So I think that enemy could be worked into rooms more, and I think it would be a great addition to the game as a whole. But other than that little nitpick, I absolutely love it. And I'll just end that by saying that I don't feel that way about all the new enemy types. Next up is the changes to the Hydra fight. I like them. I'm glad that they removed the middle wall between the pillars from that fight. Not only because I felt like it was kind of a trap for players to try and like dodge those. I felt like it just made the room really constrictive. And now it feels a lot more open and a lot more fun to move around. I'd only done this fight one other time, so I can't really talk about many of the other aspects or even know if they changed much else of that fight. That was just the one main change that I noticed, and I'm glad they're not in there. However, aside from that change, I at least immediately didn't notice anything else. So if there's anything I'm missing in that regard, please let me know. Now, those are the main changes that I noticed and wanted to talk about. So now we'll be moving on to a part of this that I'm really excited about, and that is that I finally got my first kill on the Hydra today, and have included in the that kill. So number 1 under the belt. Hopefully we can see a number 2. I'm really hoping that I can get to and kill this boss again. I really enjoyed this fight, and I'm really sad that I didn't make it to the fight prior to the update like I had originally been wanting to, or make it to and beat the fight like I'd originally wanted to anyway. Super disappointing that it had to happen after the update came out, but you know, I'll take what I can get at this point, right? I'm just happy that it's done. Now, something I will say about this fight that really annoyed me. I don't know if it's because I was using the bow. I don't know if it's something to do with the fight specifically, or I could just be bad. The perspective on this fight seems to be super off. There were a lot of times when I was fighting this thing where it felt like I should be hitting it and I just wasn't. So I feel like they could tighten the hitbox of this boss. There's some other times where I've fired at things and felt that I should have hit them, but it was never like as repeatable as you'll have seen in the clip. The bottom right head, I'm pretty sure I fire at that thing specifically like a couple of times directly, and I just don't land the shots, and nothing that I could directly notice was indicating to me that I should have been missing. There are some shots that you'll see that'll miss that I obviously too far away or I shoot too high up, but some of them I fire like 2 directly in a row and the second one misses, and I just, for the light, like I get that it's like a tall, like moving snake head deal. However, I feel like that hitbox could be better represented, because it made the fight feel really shitty at times. So hopefully by the time this hits full release, we can hopefully see some tighter hitbox tuning. But other than that being like so far my only complaint about that fight, outside of that one specific issue, which could be me being shit and not just understanding the hitbox could be fine the more I do it, but having been only like, to me that's something that shouldn't necessarily be something I have to learn, that like, hey, this thing's on an axis that you can't really fire on an axis for. Like if there was a way to aim your bow up, you know, sure, but I think it's just a badly. I just think that they need to tighten up the hitbox for that fight, and it will be perfect. Other than that, I love the fight. I think it's glorious. Alright, guys. Well, that's all I really wanted to talk about for this update. I don't necessarily. Hopefully, we'll get another one. The next update will be another decent content one like this, and hopefully, I'll be able to do another one of these. Thanks for watching. Bye.